Alright, Jesus Christ. You already got baby oil in here? It's like a skating rink. Alright, look, Fluff Daddy, Puff Daddy, Pete Diddler, Diddley. Look, Sean, I gotta be straight with you here, alright? They didn't take the 50 mil. Apparently it's not all about the Benjamins, baby. Okay? You're not gonna be a baller, a shot caller, a brawler who'll be dipping in the Benz with the spoilers, rolling with Jake and the Taurus, okay? Trying to get your hands on some grants like Horace. It's not gonna happen. You've been handed a raw deal, okay? No 3-course meals, spaghetti, fettuccine, or veal. You understand? You might f*** a guy named Benjamin later, but by the looks of things, I'm thinking you'll like that. So it's not too bad, right? Here he's a nice guy. Biggest bench in the yard. Biggest bench in the yard. Goes by Benji. So.
Happy birthday to me.
Nope, not your birthday. Not your birthday. It's not your birthday. Okay.
Happy birthday to me.
What'd you expect? You took out Tupac, the man's your national treasure. You know what I mean? The good news is, all you gotta do is do what you've been doing for years. And pretty much just take it up the on this one. So apparently every step you take and every move you make, every single day, every time you pray, they'll be watching you.
Happy birthday to me.
Nope, not your birthday. It's not your birthday. It's not your birthday, but that's okay. I'm gonna get out of here, Fluff Diddle. And, whoop! You look me. I'm straight.
Hey yo, thanks for tuning into The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. Since we can't be inside the Diddy trial, I figure I'm just gonna reenact the case for you. So, in this video, I'm gonna read you the prosecutor's opening statements. And listen, I'm not gonna comment because I want you to really get it how it really was. Alright, so for the prosecution, attorney Emily Johnson delivered the opening statements. Alright, so hit that like and subscribe button and we're getting ready to get into it. Acting as a representative for the AUSA office, Emily Johnson got up and she looked straight at the jury and she said, "This is Sean Combs. To the public, he was a cultural icon, a businessman, larger than life. But there was another side to him. You'll hear about 20 years of the defendant's crimes. He had a team to help him. Kidnapping, arson, rugs, X-crimes. Let's start with one night. He was on a hunt for his girlfriend Cassie. He forced her to have sex with male escorts while he watched and recorded it. He found out Cassie was seeing another man. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and the other man. He woke an employee to drive to the house, but no one was there. The defendant didn't give up. He kept looking for Cassie. When he found her, he beat her brutally, kicked her in the back, and flung her around like a rag doll, but it wasn't enough. He told Cassie he could release video of her having sex with male escorts. He broke into the man's house and he beat and blackmailed his girlfriend. These are not his only crimes. Cassie is not the only woman he beat and actually exploited. 20 years of crimes. He had a business, Bad Boy Records, that made him right. He relied on his bodyguards, chiefs of staff, who ran all aspects of his life. The group promoted his power. His bodyguards kidnapped an employee and set a car on fire, dangled a person. They delivered drugs whenever he said, including to women he forced to have sex with escorts. He transported them across state lines and even out of the country. Let me be very clear. This case is not about a celebrity's private sexual preferences. This was criminal. He coerced and even used violence. Along the way during this trial, we'll focus on two women, Cassie and Jane. We'll show you that the defendant used lies, drugs, threats, and violence to force them to have sex with him in front of male escorts. He called them freak-offs, wild king nights, and hotel nights. His staff organized flights, cars, and hotels. At his direction, his staff set up the room with lubricant and lighting. The staff came in with cash to pay the escorts and with drugs. He made them take MDMA or Molly and ecstasy. It made them sick, but also actually aroused. He directed every step. He expected the women to appear to enjoy themselves, and he fondled with himself and recorded the events. Cassie was 19 with a hit song. Cassie tried to work on her music, but the defendant made her turn down many opportunities. She recorded, but he had the final say over the music she released. There was never another album. He hit Cassie in the head and dragged her by her hair. He stomped on Cassie's face in an SUV, then made her stay in a hotel for a week to hide her injuries. He set up freak-offs as often as once a week. I mean, that's where she spent half of her time. The defendant also made an escort urinate in her mouth. As you will see in this trial, he beat her in the hallway of a hotel to drag her back into a freak-off. Initially, she wanted to make him happy, but then she didn't want to. But the defendant made her. The consequences were severe. He beat her when he thought she took too long in the bathroom. Defying him would end in violence. She fled, but he found her with the help of his inner circle. Cassie's career was in his hands. He told her he could destroy her career by releasing video. When he said to have a freak-off, she knew she had no choice. She called the escort and put on the performances he wanted. Her safety depended on keeping him happy. The relationship was complicated. Both were unfaithful, but only one had the power. He made Cassie do his bidding in those dark hotel rooms. Cassie was not the only one. This was a pattern. Let me tell you about Jane. She was a single mom that started spending time with him in 2020. She fell in love with him, but he was seeing other women. One night, he told Jane about freak-offs and made it happen immediately. He took her to a hotel where an escort was on her way. He directed her step by step. Jane thought that this was a one-time wild night, but she was wrong. He continued, offering a real relationship. Jane wanted the escort to wear protection, but the defendant didn't let them. Jane tried to make it through these nights without drugs. The first time, she broke down and took ecstasy to finish. Another time, she vomited, but he said, "Go do it again." Jane found two men and invited them to join the freak-off so that she could choose the man that she would be intimate with. The defendant discouraged her from working. He had the power to coerce her back into the hotel rooms. He threatened her with the videos. Not even a year ago, he went to her house. She was angry. She hit him. He became enraged. She tried to hide. She locked herself in a bedroom. He kicked it open. Then the bathroom, the closet, the guest bedroom. He kicked her to the ground. He didn't let Jane be. He said, "You're not getting ready to F up my night." He said, "Call up an escort and perform." Jane followed his instructions. His violence got him what he wanted. Cassie will tell you about the time that the defendant forced himself on her. Mia, an employee, will tell you how the defendant forces himself on her, hand up her dress, penetrating her. Amidst all of this violence, he and his inner circle worked to cover up his crimes. The video at the LA hotel, you're going to hear just how far this went. The defendant offered a hotel security guard a wad of cash, a brown paper bag with $100,000 in $100 bills. The inner circle kept Cassie in hiding for days. For all of this, he's being charged with multiple federal crimes, racketeering, conspiracy. Cassie and Jane will tell you of the most painful experiences of their lives. You'll hear from some of the defendant's employees, including his personal assistant Mia, who he actually assaulted. She's grappling with it. You will also hear from the employee he forced into an SUV with a GUN and from a chef. They worked punishing hours at times without sleep. They bought rugs for him. They were expected to keep quiet. Some of these witnesses have already received settlements. You will also hear from some of the escorts that the defendant directed them and filmed it. An escort saw the defendant assault Cassie and drag her by her face during a freak-off. You'll see records from hotels and the damage in car services. You will see text messages in which the defendant tells staff to bring cash for escorts, and by Jane saying she didn't want to do freak-offs. You will see videos. In them, you can hear the defendant provide direction to Cassie and Jane, high on ecstasy. You will see a video of the defendant brutally beating Cassie during a freak-off in an LA hotel. You will see photos of the damage, including to 4 doors in Jane's home not even a year ago. You will see what he had in his home. Med bag of drugs, lube. You will see the agreement with the hotel guard barring him from speaking after getting paid $100,000 for the video. You will hear him manipulate Jane into saying she wanted it. His threats not to pay for her home. Text to his staff about it. I ask you to do 3 things. Pay attention to the evidence, follow the judge's instructions on the law, use your common sense, and you'll reach the verdict that Sean Combs is guilty. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, I just wanted to get on here and read you exactly what the prosecutors said during their opening statements. And I didn't want to offer commentary because I didn't want to influence your opinions. But I do want to hear your opinions. So let me know what you think in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning into The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.